All right, so I decided to create boring thumbnails and test them across 9 different videos. And I think you're gonna be surprised because there's a lot of AI generated thumbnails out there and you would think that those are going to do better. So I said, well, let's test it. Now here's what I want you to do first. I want you to pause this. I want you to pick one of these. I want you to put it in the comments and tell me what one do you think did the best? Because there is a winner and there is a loser and there's some that are in between. But all of these, I will say, performed way better than I thought that they ever would. And they were the simplest to create. Oh, and I'm also going to be sharing with you another boring thumbnail that I did a year ago that is still converting over 4% after 5.9 million impressions. I'm going to share that with you as well. All right, so let's get into the analytics. All right, so this is the first one we're going to be looking at. This is 10,000 impressions. It got a 6% click-through rate. Now we are going to be just looking at the first 24 hours for all of these. So we have the same data set as far as the same time frame. Now thumbnails don't get much simpler than this. Me outside with my knit hat on because it was cold out in the woods shooting the video, and I just put white text with a little bit of a drop shadow, and that is it. The words did all the heavy lifting. So it wasn't the algorithm. And then the title was "The Algorithm Didn't Kill Your Channel." This did. And it got 10,000 impressions and a 6% click-through rate. Now, one thing I want to note here is as you are looking at your click-through rate, what makes up that entire 6% isn't just a click. There's the traffic source that it comes from, and that's this right here. So what I want to do here is click in, and you can see this is all of the traffic sources. So we have browse. That's what we want, by the way. Browse is like homepage stuff. We want that. And that's where we want the highest click-through rate. 7.8 is what we got there. The suggested videos was a 1.6. We're finding 1.5 to 2.5 is about average. All right. And then you can look down here. Channel pages was a little bit higher. YouTube searches down here. But you can see that makes up the average of the 6%. So yes, we're going to be looking at just the top level of like the overall, but just understand that when you see that one number, there's a bunch of numbers that make up that one number. And this is how you find that. Pretty good. Let's get to the next one. This one, hard reset. That's it. That's all that was on there. Same thing. I had a hat on this time, a little bit of blue in it. Those are some things also that can be strategically done. Whatever clothing you're wearing, that can actually help you without having to have any special graphics or any flashy things. But the color can sometimes stand out. In this case, I have the blue hat. I also have that goldish yellow. Hard reset. That's it. And the title was Forcing YouTube Reset, the 3-step survival protocol. It's working. This got a 5.2%. All right, in the first 24 hours. So that's pretty good. Now, if you ever do want to look at your click-through rate as far as how it did throughout the entire 24 hours, you just click right here and you can see it started at a 7.4 and then you can see what's happening here. And the reason why that's happening is because YouTube is testing it to multiple different audiences. This is also just an overview of all of the traffic sources. So if we scroll down here, you can see these are the traffic sources, but what we can also do is click here to see more. And then we can look and say, okay, for browse, it got a 6%. For suggested videos, it got 2.5%. If I scroll down, channel pages, 8%, search, 5%. All right, let's get into the next one. So that's 5.2%. This one here was a 4%. All right, 4%. This stopped working, and that was it. And the title was, These YouTube Tips Don't Work Anymore. And that's it. It was me outside in my driveway. My car, my Mustang is behind me, and that was it. And the video was me out there sitting in the car, by the way. But that's it. This stopped working. Now, let me scroll down here real quick while we're in here. We'll look at the browse. The browse was 5.6. So you see the browse was higher and the suggested was lower. So that kind of brought it down. All right. So those are some things, again, why we have to look a little bit deeper because 4% doesn't tell the entire story. Although for this example, I am looking at the overall just at the highest level. Let's go to the next one. No views. No in red and then views. And then me kind of mid-sentence with nothing on my head at this time. but just outside. All right. And the title was Why Random YouTube Videos Don't Get Views Anymore. Okay. 4,500 impressions, a 6.7% click-through rate. That's really good. Really good. So let's note that 6.7. That's the winner so far. Let's see if we can beat that. All right. And again, I'm going to scroll down here. I'm going to look here just for kicks and giggles. Yeah, look at Browse got 7.7%. That's why it was so high. So that's really good. What did Suggested get? 2.7. So that was higher than normal too. So you see how we're getting the breakdown here? Oh, and I should probably share the title to this one, Why Random YouTube Videos Don't Get Views Anymore. All right, let's move on to the next one. Not their fault. The title, YouTube's algorithm is not hiding your videos. This got 15,400 impressions in 24 hours and a 5.4% click-through rate. Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's see what else happened down here as we get into the weeds a little bit. So Browse features, 6.6%, Suggested was 2.1. So that one did definitely do better. The other thing I want to note here real quick while we're on this, I'm paying attention to this. Those impressions, 15,400, why was it so high? Well, I'm going to be looking now at the title. So this is just a little side note for you. If you're doing any of this testing and you want to see what should I do more content on, look at your analytics, look how it did in the first 24 hours, first 48 hours. But in this case, I would want to say, man, I probably want to do another one using a similar title. Titles, so important. That's what's going to get us the impression so we can get the clicks. And that's where a lot of creators struggle. And I obsess over titles. I actually put together a swipe file. I call it title hooks because they are the top outliers that I have found so far from posting videos on YouTube. If you'd like to get a copy of that, just comment hooks down below and I'll send it to you. Once again, hooks in the comments and I'll send it to you because titles, extremely important. That's what's going to get us the impressions. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so this one, YouTube easier after 50. Kind of a lot of words, but I tried it. And let's see here. The title was The Unfair Advantage Older YouTube Creators Have. And that one there didn't perform that well. And I have a hunch I know why. I think it was too niche. So 4,400 impressions, 4.1 was the average click-through rate. So yeah, that one there, we're probably going to learn from and go, probably not going to do that topic anymore, or at least in that way. All right, so let's move on to the next one. They hide this. That's it. Very simple. 3 words, and I made the hide this a different color. And you can see here the title, YouTube hides this metric from you, but it predicts everything. 8,100 impressions, a 5.3% click-through rate. Let's go ahead and let's look down here at the traffic again while we're doing this for everyone now. And Browse features is 6.6 and the Suggested is 2.0. So not too bad. That's a 24-hour period, 5.3 on that one. All right, here we go. The next one is Big Mistake. The algorithm mistake that killed my views. It's actually a good video, by the way. You should probably check it out. I'll drop it in the description because that one there shows you a mistake that we made that cost us some views. And it's something to learn from. So make sure you watch that video. All right, so this one here, 8,400 impressions, a 6.1% click-through rate. I still don't think it beat the 6.7% one that we saw earlier, but it's close. And so let's go ahead and let's look at the traffic source. And we're going to go in here, 7.8% in the Browse. That's really, really good. And then the Suggested was 2.4%. So really good. All right. And the last one is this one right here. Stop listening. That's it. Just 2 words. And the title was Why Following the Rules Broke My Channel. 7,500 impressions, 5.6% on the click-through rate. And let's go down here and let's click in. And it's a 6.4% in the Browse, and it's 6% in the channel pages, and Suggested was 2.3. So those are all of the thumbnails. Now, what one was the winner? Well, it looks like it was this one right here, the no views. And let's see what it's done so far. Well, it stayed at a 5.4%, which is pretty solid. And speaking of thumbnails that are still doing really good, I've got one that I'm going to share with you. It's gotten 5.9 million impressions and it stayed over 4% on the click-through rate. Let me show you that now. Here it is. Wow, look at this. The thumbnail, I didn't listen. And it's just me holding up my plaque from another channel that I grew in the past. And that's it. Now, with that being said, you might look at this and go, yeah, it is pretty simple, but there's a little bit going on there. You're looking at that, you see, okay, I see a plaque. We all know what a plaque means. That means 100,000 subscribers. And then you see me like, I didn't listen. And you want to know, what didn't you listen about? And the title was YouTube Gurus Lying to Small Creators, How to Actually Blow Up. And that video is still getting 25 to 50 views per hour today, and it's over a year old. That's the power of having a good title and a good thumbnail and good content. Now listen, do me a favor. If you've gotten value from this, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to get more tests like this and case studies and things that I'm experimenting with, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be doing a lot more of these because I love digging into the analytics and I love running tests.